What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is Hump Day. That means it's time for the Hump Day Happy Hour. Glad to see everybody on the middle of the week. I'm super excited to get this weekend here. It's a summer field day, and I'm excited about that. But we're not going to talk. Well, we will talk a little bit about it, but not a whole lot about it. First off, we're going to give a shout out to these Patreons right here because they are absolutely awesome. I appreciate each and every one of them. I literally go out of my way to try to repay each and every one of these people, and quite a few of them could testify to that for sure. But if you're interested in becoming a Patreon, right now we got a special going on, and you can go over to Patreon and join the top activators for free for 7 days. So, if you want to come over to the Happy Hour After Dark tonight and join some of these guys and see what things are all about, head over there and get your free subscription. Also, we want to give a shout out to these guys. While we're giving a shout out to the Adventure Club, I want to say thanks to Kent and James Jenner, both for the off-stream donations this week. James actually moved up from 9th to 7th place there. So it's almost the end of this quarter, and I look over the next 9 days. I look for this board to jockey around quite a bit. It always does in the last couple of weeks of the month. So look for some changes in it toward the end of the month. But what's going on, Hayden?
Oh, not much. We just got a super chat from James Jenner. He's got a proud dad moment. His oldest daughter, Catherine, passed her technician last night. Now waiting on the FCC for a call sign. So
awesome. Congratulations, Catherine.
Tell her congratulations.
That is just absolutely awesome. And I look forward to maybe getting her involved one day, and maybe she's watching the stream with you tonight, and she might learn something she can do with technician stuff. Hayden, what's going on with you, buddy?
Oh, not too much. In the middle of the week as always, and looking forward to the weekend. Got field day coming up. Got a family reunion on Saturday that I'll be working part of field day from. Unfortunately, the weather's going to be rainy all weekend, so hopefully we can get out and activate a little bit.
Well, I don't really think it's supposed to rain here unless it's changed in the last little bit. So I'm hoping we have better weather. But it doesn't matter because I'll tell you, last year on Summer Field Day, it absolutely poured, and we still had a blast. So one way or another, field day is going to happen. I'm more worried about the solar forecast than I am the rain forecast because from what I hear, they're calling for a radio blackout this weekend.
Nice.
So that would kind of put a big damper on Summer Field Day.
That'll just be another challenge to overcome.
That's right. If it wasn't for challenges, it wouldn't be no fun, right?
That's right.
But
adapt and overcome.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about technician stuff, something we don't normally talk a whole lot about. Normally we're POTA, and soda, and anything adventures radio. But you can have some adventures being a technician as well. So if you're a technician and you're thinking, well, what can I do? I've just got this little Baofeng radio. What am I going to do here? And I hold that radio up because that's where a lot of people start. I guarantee you 90% of the people's first radio was probably one of them right there. I've got 4 or 5 of them laying around the house, and it was mine. I actually got me a couple of them before I ever had a license. I was what if the world's coming to an end and this, that, and the other, got to have a radio. So I grabbed this radio and I stick it in my go pouch, and, they're like, well, you got to have a license. Well, not if it's an emergency, but the thing is, and a lot of people have that mentality. The thing is, if you don't use this little radio right here, chances are an emergency, it ain't going to do you no good because you ain't going to know how to use this little radio right here. Those people don't go out and buy a new firearm and like, well, I got one, I'm safe, and never shoot it.
Some people do that.
Well, then they're crazy at that aspect.
Exactly.
But you got to practice with things to use them. So if you're going to get a radio for prepping or whatever, get the license and learn how to use it. If you're not going to use it, you're probably not going to use it in emergency. And these radios right here, honestly, for hiking and emergency preparation and stuff like that, they're fine. Because if you drop them off a cliff, big deal. You're out $25.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not out to $350 for my Yaesu that I got sitting over there. So, but believe it or not, there's a lot of things you can do with the 2-meter, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. Of course, you've got 2-meter, you've got 70 centimeter and 220 that you can use. You can use those full bands as a technician, and you can talk on repeaters. You can talk on simplex. You can do a lot of stuff. Maybe your buddy. Maybe you're young and your buddy 4 houses down. He's got his license too. You guys can probably talk on your radio. If there's not a lot of things blocking you on simplex, you can both hit the repeater and talk. And that's where a lot of people are. They get their license and they talk a little bit on the repeater. And depending on the area that you're in, you might have, what I call 80 meters on the 2-meter repeater. You got a couple old guys that get on there and all they talk about is, my knee hurts because I did this and I went to the doctor today and he checked me for this. And, that doesn't really interest a lot of people. So they probably want to learn to do something a little more than just that. So the next step I would suggest is maybe getting something like this. This is a DMR radio, and something like this. This is a little hotspot, and you can go digital, and then with your technician license, you can talk around the world. I know when I had my technician license, I got on this kick where I would stay up really late at night because that's when the other countries were up. That was their daytime, and I'd stay up all night and I would talk to all these people all around the world. And matter of fact, I think your grandson's bowling.
Yeah, they just got home.
But I would talk to this one guy. His name was Jerry. He was in Germany, and every morning his time, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning his time, but it was like 1 or 2 in the night for me. He would be walking to the bakery, and he would get on his DMR radio while he was walking, and he would talk, and I'd sit and become really good friends with this guy Jerry from Germany, sitting and talking, in my living room, sitting on the couch, talking on a DMR radio, just like I would on the regular repeater, except with DMR, it was a whole lot clearer. It had really good quality and stuff like that. And, I talked to, all kinds of people like that. And, that's what, if you, when a lot of people, when they're general, that's what they want to do. They want to chase DX. And yeah, you're talking on DMR, and yes, it does go over the internet. It is radio, despite what some of the 80-meter people would tell you. It is still radio, because even though you're using the internet to enhance it, I'm still using HF from this device. RF, I'm sorry. I'm still using RF from this device to this device, wherever this device is setting.
Mm-hmm.
So I am still using amateur radio. And, it's the same thing with FT8. I'm not a fan of FT8, but you still are using RF. You got to use RF. Even though you're using the computer to decode and code stuff,
Mhm.
you're still using RF radio. So
Now, let me ask you a question.
okay,
Before DMR, I played with something called Echolink. Did you ever play with that?
I have played with Echolink. As a matter of fact, my local repeater, and I was going to cover this,
Okay.
but my local repeater is now set up on Echolink, and the reason being for, you as a technician, you can check into 2 meter, or whatever nets. Now, I'm not a big fan of nets myself, HF nets, because they tend to get a little silly. They got a net for everything. They got this net to talk about my boat, and this net to talk about my car tires, and this net to talk about my macaroni salad, and it gets a little cumbersome because you get on 40 meters about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and every frequency is just covered up with nets to talk about next to nothing, and it's kind of a little annoying, but that if that's your thing, that's on you. But
Sure.
I like to check on to my local repeater net when I'm close enough, because I tend to be traveling a lot for POTA and stuff like that, and I get to talk to the people in my club and check in and find out what's going on in the club and stuff, and that's a lot of fun. So we got it set up now on Echolink, so even when I'm in Florida, I can get on Echolink and just hit my local repeater, and
Oh, that's awesome.
I can check in. Same, I mean, and it's the same with these DMR radios. There's DMR repeaters out there.
Mhm.
There's also Yaesu System Fusion. There's all these other digital modes. It doesn't have to be DMR, but you can hit repeaters and transfer around like that. So it's definitely something you should think about. If you want to reach further than what your little 2 meter can do, and it can be a lot of fun. Like I said, I used to spend quite a few hours just sitting and talking overseas and stuff like that. And I met some really, really good guys. There was a group of us that would get on every night, and we were trying to just get all these different countries. You know what I'm saying? And because we thought it was cool, just like now we're in HF and everybody's chasing the DX. Same thing, but there were several of us that would get on there, and we would do something that definitely would not work in the POTA world, because people would lose their mind. So what we would do is, if one of us got through to one of the countries we were trying to get, we'd say, "Okay, hey, my buddy would really like to talk to you," and the next one would just hit him right after it, and then, "Oh yeah, my buddy would really like to talk to you too," and the next one, and we'd go down this line. And of course, if we did that in something like POTA, people would definitely lose their mind. I could be like, "Oh, Hayden wants to talk to you. Hold on." And you'd be like, "Oh, Dan wants to talk to you. Hold on." And these other hunters would be like, no, this ain't gonna work." but it's funny because a lot of those guys, I became friends with back when I was a technician, and there was me here in West Virginia, and there was a couple of them in New York. One of them, Steven, up that way. I think he's in Pennsylvania. He hunts me on POTA now. And there was Andy out in Washington State, and actually years later, I interviewed Andy here on this channel, and actually about something else that you can do with your technician license, and that is satellite hunting.
Oh, yeah.
So as a technician, you can talk to satellites and space stations and stuff like that. And it's something that I'm really, I'm an extra, and I'm really wanting to start getting into that a little bit myself. It really interests me. And, you can do that with you can do it on HF, but you can do it with just a little. Most people do it with little 2 meter rigs,
Yep.
they'll get an arrow antenna and they'll sit out there and, I don't know how to do it, so don't quote me. They'll sit there and turn their wrist and follow the path of that thing. And next thing you know, they're making contacts. And, you can chase satellites on just little 2-meter radios. So
we'll have to bring Eric on in Hawaii and have him bring us up to date on his satellite exploits, because when he got back from Dayton, I guess he started getting into that.
Yeah, he's been doing quite a bit of it, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody else made their first one the other day. I believe it was Kyle made his first one the other day as well. So, but definitely something I'd like to get into myself, because it would be cool for me to do some POTA through a satellite, because that is legal. You
That's
can't use
the only repeater you can use.
that is the only repeater you can use is a satellite.
The one's in space.
So, that would be pretty cool to do some satellite POTA activating and people hunting me on POTA and stuff like that. So, definitely pretty cool stuff that you can do as a technician. Another thing that you can do with your little Bowfang and a couple of apps on your telephone is something else I have also done in POTA. You can send slow scan TV messages, through a 2-meter. We got on a kick where we did it on HF there after a lot of my POTA activations. Something we learned in Discord after chat one night. We all sat and sort of learned how to do it ourselves, and it was a lot of fun. So I started doing it after all my POTA activations. But you can do that, and I've seen many people do that. I've seen it done with a Bowfang. You just literally sit with your phone against the Bowfang, and I know some of them have cords that they can actually connect to the radios and stuff like that. But you don't even have to have that. You can sit here and just hold them up together like this right here, and send and receive SSTV messages. And if you're a technician and don't know what SSTV is, basically it's you're sending pictures over the air. Mostly like cartoon pictures and stuff like that. Not really high quality. You're not going to get a 1080p nice high quality picture over it. But
it's like taking a fax signal and transmitting it over the air.
Yes, and it's definitely a lot of fun. It does take a little bit of time because it's sending a line at a time of the picture, and it takes quite a bit of time. I've not done it myself on 2-meter, but I have done it on HF, and it's definitely a lot of fun.
Well, we did it on the after chat one time, just to see who in the after chat could hear each other, and we were sending goofy stuff back and forth. That was a lot of fun.
I'm pretty sure that was the night we all learned how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of fun. Good to see Kevin in the chat tonight. Kevin is just the most interesting guy. I love Kevin to death. If you don't go watch Kevin's channel, there's something wrong with you, because this guy would antenna the most crazy things you've ever seen and do some of the coolest stuff. We had Kevin.
I'm going to pull up his latest one.
We had Kevin on the stream when he was getting ready to do his pedal POTA, where he pedaled the power for his activation, and I was actually lucky enough to make contact with him on that activation. So definitely go check out Kevin and subscribe to him. He's got some good stuff going on. So anyway, another thing you can do that is really cool, actually, because it depends on where you're at, kind of, because I don't think I could pull it off here, but out west I see it done all the time, and you can literally go up and do a summon on the air just with a 2-meter. Them guys will go out and with their 2 meters and get a whole summit activation in, plus some, just on their 2-meter. So I mean, and it would be cool to see what you can do in your area. even if it's not a summit, just get up on top of a mountain and see how far you can reach. Get a little bit of adventure in you, and just see how far you can reach with your little handheld, and get out there. If you want to get like an arrow directional antenna and maybe point it toward the nearest city or something, and just see how far you can get. But I mean, I've seen like Charlie and them do some summit activations, and they'll get 10, 12 2-meter contacts easy, and then they'll change over to 70 centimeters, and it only takes 4 to get a summit. Now park on the air, that would be a lot harder. I do know it's been done. I've done a 2-meter activation. Of course, it was in a park that there was probably 60 activators staying in, but they do sodas all the time with just a 2-meter. I mean, yeah, of course you're going to take your HF and hook it up if you're a general, but if you're a technician and you like the outdoors and stuff like that, just hike up. Even if it's not a summit. And if you don't know what Summits on the Air is, this channel or Charlie Red Summit's channel, it would be a good channel to watch as well and learn about that, because Summits on the Air is almost as cool as POTA. It actually is as cool as POTA. It's just a lot more work. So
it's a little more challenging.
It's definitely more challenging. But
summits aren't on sea level; they're up high.
Oh yeah.
Just bear that in mind.
You're gonna definitely do some hiking to get up on the summits. It's not like Parks on the Air. Parks on the Air. Once you get in the park, you can sit right in your car and do the activation. But even with the drive up summits, you have to be away from your car by so many meters and stuff like that. So, and there's not a whole lot of drive up ones, to be honest. Yes, field day is a perfect day to activate POTA with VHF and UHF, and it's also a perfect day and that's I'll go ahead and lead into that since you brought it up, David, because it's on my list. This weekend is field day, and as a technician, this is something that you should probably look into doing. Not because you want to activate UHF and VHF, but because this is your opportunity to get out and work some HF, because you can go to these club active field day activations, and as long as it depends on what kind of control operators they have, most of them will have extras there. You can use all the privileges you want, and you can get out and do some HF and start looking into what everybody's talking about, and get out and do this stuff. And field day is definitely a good place for beginner people. Even if you don't have your technician. Let's say you're on the fence about, do I really want to do this? Go out and do field day, because you can, even without a license whatsoever, you can use the control operator call, which will probably be a club call, and you can experience, the HF experience, and see what contesting was about. So, and speaking of contesting, you can contest as a technician. They have UHF, VHF contests a couple of times a year, and they're really big contests, believe it or not. Another thing you may want to do if you're thinking about doing something like that, and you're thinking about getting your general, why not go ahead and start saving up and invest in a shack in a box, say a Yaesu 991A that you can do 2 meters or HF on, because with that you can do 2-meter sideband. 2-meter sideband is going to get out a whole lot further than 2-meter HF. So
2-meter FM.
Yeah, 2-meter FM. Sorry, I was looking at the chat here.
You got HF on the brain.
I do. I've got HF. I've got HF on the brain big time. Let's see, Janet. We're gonna be on the soccer field, John, on Saturday. All the way behind what?
Yeah, he wants to know what time.
I think it starts at 2. I could be wrong about that. I'll be there. I'll be there probably 12 or 1 if it starts at 2. I think we're running a 3 because we like to have many extra activators there to work shifts and we're either running a 3 or a 4, but there'll probably be 10 or 12 of us there. So field days are definitely a good time. And as a technician, I would definitely suggest going to field day and learning. Also, as a technician, you can go ahead and do HF. You got all the rights on well, you got 6 meters, which is
6 meters is, yep.
You can do 6 meter FM, or you can do 6 meter sideband. Because you can use the full band of 6 meters, and you've got a small part of 10 meters that you can use. Hayden, don't you got a chart for us here?
I do have a chart. Let me bring that up.
All right, so you got a small portion there in the bottom of 10 meters that you can use.
Up in the yellow.
Right. It looks like 28.3 to 28.5 that you can use for voice. And then below that, you can use for for digital or data. So that would be like your FT8, which is something that you can do as a technician. You can do FT8 down there in that area right there, and 6 meter right below it. You, like I said, you've got the full width. You can do FT8. You can do voice. You can do CW there. CW is something else you can do, and with CW, you can even do, if you look over here on 40 meters, on let's see, the very
all the squigglies.
All the squiggly lines, you can do CW there, as well as 80 meters. You can do CW there. And, people saying, well, why should I learn CW as a technician? Well, for one, because you can start being on all these other bands. And for 2, you're getting a step ahead of the game for when you get up to general and can use CW pretty much anywhere you want to.
They also have privileges on 15 meters too for CW.
Oh yeah, I forgot about 15. So yeah, CW is a great thing. Ways to learn CW. That's pretty cool. You can join the Long Island CW Club, which I suggest. They have a really good program. There's another one called CW Ops. I have no experience with it, but a lot of people talk good about it. There's plenty of apps. There's devices like this one that I just filmed a video today, so it's going to come out probably in a week or so. This is the MFJ CW Elmer, and it does a lot of things, but what I like it for is I can hook it to an aux cord and stick it in my car as I'm going down the road and listen to CW. It'll do. It's got like different programs and stuff, but the one I'll do is it'll play like 5 letters for me over the speakers in my car, and I'll sit there and decode them in my head, and then I'll look at it, and like 30 seconds later, it'll pop up the letters that it played, so I know if I got them right or not. And it's a pretty handy device. So there'll be a video coming out in the next week or so on that one. I was working on filming it earlier today, actually. So, but definitely something you should think about. I know a lot of people don't ever think about, I'm a technician, let's learn CW. And I think it's a mistake, especially, if you're younger, because I can tell you point blank, the younger you are, the more, hey, thank you very much for the super chat, Mike. I appreciate it. Mike, one of my regular POTA hunters there. Kilo Oscar 4, Sierra Fox, Rob Bravo. but also a Patreon. But the younger you are, the easier it is to learn CW. Because I'll tell you, I unfortunately started as an old guy, and it was not as easy. Whereas the Pearson started as, hey, thank you very much, Kilo 8 Golf Quebec, trying to pay back the underwear fee. I know what he's after. See, he sent $10. He sent $10 because he's paying back the underwear fee. Now, if he was needing an eagle or something, he'd buy like 15 slices of pizza and then he'd go into Discord like, hey man, I need like 15. I just parked that you don't never do. I'm messing with you, Terry. Thank you very much for the super chat. But
so you were saying the Pearsons picked it up really quick.
They picked it up like mad. I mean, like super, super fast. And they become CW machines. And they went to Winterfield Day last year. And I guess their club has the adult table and the kids table. Mm-hmm. And, they got to operate CW at the adult table. And after they did that Winterfield Day, their club gave them a big presentation and award, and like, you always have the place at the adult table, because I mean they absolutely killed it. So actually shout out to Ryan. I don't know where Blake is yet, but I know Ryan just hit over 3,000 contacts with me on Parks on the Air. So
nice job, Ryan.
He is the leader. He is my leaderboard. He's the guy to beat right now. 3,000 contacts with just me. So good stuff. And I don't know where anybody's at, because I broke my POTA page once again, and I don't guess I'm ever going to get a look at stats, but it is what it is. What's your go-to on if you were a technician? What would be your go-to, Aiden?
Well, and you only touched on it briefly as a sideband. In the last solar cycle, I was a technician that just happened to have an FT817 as my only radio, and I was playing around with 10 meters to no avail, but 2-meter sideband was really popular. 8 years ago? We'd have a club that would go to Skyline Drive and just do 2-meter nets and 2-meter chats and talk about everything under the sun, like you'd said with most nets. But it was all about making contacts on 2 meters, and those guys were really passionate about it.
Right. Now, 2-meter sideband is definitely a lot of fun, and you're definitely going to get a whole lot further. What kind of antenna was you using when you was doing that?
Just one of those homemade ground loop antennas that I use for 2 meters and 440. And your video dropped for some reason.
No, I actually turned it off for a second.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at something. So right now is actually a good time because despite the way the band conditions have been on all the bands that we like to use on HF, right now is a good time for technicians, because 10 meters have been on fire lately. And, I know when I was a technician, I tried so hard to get on 10 meters all the time and couldn't ever get anything. But 10 meters is absolutely on fire right now. And, you can talk around the world with a quickness on 10 meters. So, if you don't want to go the DMR route to talk around the world, you want to do it, all RF, 10 meters would be a great thing to do. And
well, that's what they call 10 meters and 6 meters is that magical band. You can work anywhere in the world when conditions are just right on both of those bands.
Yeah, absolutely. And 10 meters is probably gets a little bit further. 6 meters is a magical band because it's there 1 second, it's gone. I mean, it don't last real long. 6 meters don't, but 10, 10, you can work 10 meters for hours when it's working right. And 10 meters is alive right now. And what Dan said is he found Parks on the Air as a technician, and it's never been the same since. And I was the same way. I was a technician, and I had my dad's radio, and I just turned it on one night and was scrolling through the band, and I heard Parks on the Air, and that was the end of it. I had to do it, and as a technician, you can listen to any demands. Go ahead, and save up. Start saving. Yeah. Definitely start saving as a technician to get your radio. And don't feel like if you got the money that you can't go ahead and get that radio, because again, you can do 10 meters, you can do 6 meters, you can do CW on a lot of these bands, and you can listen anywhere you want and not transmit. But just start. I would listen to some Parks on the Air activations and get some of the excitement in you, because that's the main thing you can do as a technician is start getting ready to become a general, because the world does open up for you once you become a general. And
you have 83% of the privileges as a general.
Not that you can't have a super amount of fun as a technician, because again, I did. I can't tell you. Well, I can't tell you how many nights that I stayed up all night long, just talking on DMR radio. I was loving it, because it's just interesting to talk to all these people. Yeah, I was a rag chewer on DMR radio. You would never ever. First ever DX was Fiji on 10 meters. See there. That's awesome. And but you would never thought that I would have been a rag chewer on DMR radio if you've ever heard my pod activations, because I'm not answering questions. I'm going on. Terry's first Hawaii contact was 10 meters. Mm-hmm. 10 meters can be really awesome. And I'll tell you what, even though they call 6 meters the magic band, I can guarantee you that there will be plenty of 6 meter contacts made this weekend. Because here's the thing about magic bands. A lot of people just say, well, they're not open. They're not open. I don't hear nothing. They're not open. And they really are. Because every time on Summer Field Day, when people want to think 6 meters or 10 meters ain't open, we get on there, and there's so many people on the radio during that weekend that there is people calling on those frequencies, and you hear them. And I know one year we worked 80-some 6 meter contacts in the middle of the night. Of the night we worked.
I don't think I have any contacts on 6 meters.
We have one girl, Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Kiss and Ostrich. Yes, I named her, but she actually came to Field Day and worked on our GOTA station one year, and now she's upgraded, got a technician, got her general and stuff like that. But she's the 6 meter person. That's what she wants to work when she's at Field Day. She wants to work 6 meters. She loves 6 meters. So I told her today. Actually, we were all. Actually, I had to turn off the notifications to my club messenger, because they were just ping, 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 left and right. Thank you very much for the super stat. I cannot talk tonight.
Super chat from Dan's Boo.
Super chat. Oh. So Stephen, you need to talk to your boo and tell him that my new computer has not arrived, and I'm getting worried about it. So asking Dan before the stream. Dan got a nice new computer, and I told him I needed one. But I told her today in the chat that I was going to bring my 6 meter dipole for her to use this weekend.
Oh, sweet.
It's a pretty sweet little thing.
The chat's just going crazy.
Yeah. Steven's putting money in for the Tidy Whitey fan. Back to the Terry jokes. Poor Terry. Terry is slowly moving into the new PP Man slot, ain't he? He's trying to steal PP Man's thunder.
He's going for the court jester.
Well, I mean that they're both the court jester. They've been that way for a while. Because you have to have.
Some are just better than others.
You have to have two jesters, because typically when the king gets mad, somebody loses their head, and normally it's a jester. So you got to have a backup right off the bat.
There you
go. Even though if you're into Discord, the other night I thought it was going to be a track bot before it took control. We got a bot in our Discord, and it was sort of
disturbing,
bad mouthing people, and I had to put it in its place. The shenanigans that happen on our Discord, which is someplace as a technician you should probably go to. It doesn't cost you nothing to join Discord, and it's probably the coolest place you can ever be. We got so many cool people over there, and you can learn so much. And Hayden's getting ready to drop the link right now. I feel it.
I am indeed.
And it's a cool place to be. But especially if you're a Parks on the Air person, and soon to be a Summits on the Air person, because I'm fixing to start tearing that up.
Just in general, it's a great place to be, because if you have, there's millions of questions asked and answers shared on the Discord. Not even with all the foolishness that goes on. We have a good time, but if you come on there and you ask a question, there are a variety of people that will be there and gladly help you out.
It's definitely a great community. Every single day you see question after question after question answered on there. And because there's an expert in pretty much anything you want in that Discord. So you can ask anything from, what balun do you think I should use here, or what kind of wire should I use here, or you can ask what's the best way to eat a pickle, and somebody is going to have the right answer for you. You may get a wrong answer or two too, but somebody's going to have the right answer for you in Discord. And if you want to step it up, even up over top of that, the Patreon community, you can't top them whatsoever. They're just, you can forget that. They're just on point. And we will actually be in Patreon after chat after this stream. And once again, if you would like to be in that after chat, you can head over to Patreon and get your free 7-day trial and join us over there. All right,
that's the biggest perk of Patreon. I'm sorry, and then I'll drop it. The biggest perk of being a Patreon and in Discord is we're always chatting at night.
Oh, yeah.
Every night of the week, somebody's in there talking about something, some interesting topic. Monday night it was the HRAG bot, and we were all messing with it. But, I didn't know what that was.
Although I did have to create them a room just to mess with the HRAG bot because they were tying up the video center. So I did create them a room just specifically. That's the cool thing about Discord. If you need a room for something, I'll make it for you. Because I tend to try to keep things on topic, and people, I don't know what it is, but people always want to go. It'll be like the King CW room, and somebody will just can't come in there and randomly spot a sideband POTA. No, spot that in the POTA room. Come on, guys. They're labeled.
Well, yeah.
That's Charlie.
We have some people that are still discovering how Discord works.
As Charlie Goffstar would say, you'll get that on them big jobs, though. Anyway. People in the chat, what is your favorite thing to do if you were just a technician? What would you want to do? Just in case there is some technicians in there, and I'll go ahead and say, if there's not, maybe they'll go back and watch the stream and learn something. But
Well, I just thought of something while we're waiting for some answers to come in. One of the big things that I was into when I was a technician is a local traffic net, and that's not driving cars around the street or anything. It's sending radiograms across country, and I would participate in this net. I ran it every Wednesday. And that just being on the net and running a net taught me a lot about how to conduct myself on the radio, how to go through radio procedures and protocols. And it was just cool to get a message because there's this one guy out in Michigan who would go through the FCC records. And if your license was going to come up, he'd send you a radiogram to renew your license just to practice. So we'd get these messages through the network, and then I'd have to call this guy on a telephone because it's local and say, hey man, you got this radiogram, let me read it to you. And that was just a neat experience outside of ham radio. And it's still part of ham radio, but
you know, fun. You know, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've not heard one on 2 meters myself, but I know they do them on HF as well, because
yes,
I'll get emails a lot of times from this guy with the radiogram for me saying so and so checked into the traffic net and said he would like to thank you for your activation at blah 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 on this day. He wanted to thank you for the contact and stuff. And I get those quite a bit. You know, the first time I was like, well, that's weird, but okay. Mm-hmm. I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're lucky enough that in the Baltimore, Washington area, we have a training net that feeds into those HF nets. So we'll take traffic into our local area and pass it along, or we'll send traffic up to the higher nets, they call them, and pass them along across country or wherever they're going.
You know, another thing you can also do as a technician is volunteer at like the emergency services, like races and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Areas and races.
And because they go out and do like events and stuff. Like I know Tristan and Jason from my club, they've went the last 3 years and out to Ohio and done this big rally race. It's like a car rally race, and actually they met Travis Pastrana. He was out there racing in it and stuff. So you can do stuff like that, and you know, really interesting stuff. You know, or a mountain bike race, or maybe an adventure race you could do. So.
Oh yeah, all the big walkathons and the bike events, the bikeathons and stuff. There's a local club here in the area that supports all of that, and that's fun to do too.
I agree. You know, get you a 10-meter rig. And start learning and talk to the space birds and stuff. That's a good thing. And you know, that's something I really want to get into is I want to start doing some satellite work. So I guess I got to work on getting me an aero antenna and start getting some stuff to do it. But I wanted to start doing that because it's interesting, and it'll just add to my PODA experience.
Kapow!
Charlie Golf Charlie.
Yes, please, everyone. If you want to give the channel a little extra boost, hit that like button. We'd appreciate it.
Hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, if you're new here and not subscribed, please subscribe. It's hard telling what you'll see on here, but you'll definitely learn about anything you need to learn about PODA. That I can promise. I try to expand into other stuff, but as far as PODA goes, you're not going to get more PODA than you get it right here. You get more PODA right here than you'd get on the PODA YouTube channel.
This is a good bit of advice from Scott. Always have a 2-meter radio when hiking.
Absolutely. You know, because I'll tell you another cool thing about that right there is like if I'm hiking in Chief Logan, there are spots where I don't have phone signal back in there. And let's say that I got injured back in there in a place that I didn't have phone signal. There's not a spot up there that I don't think I can't hit my local repeater. and I can actually go to my local repeater and auto patch in and make a phone
have an auto patch. That's
and make a phone call to anybody I want. Say, hey, this is where I'm at. I need help. I mean, I could even dial 911 from there. So there's lots of things you can do with a 2-meter and as a technician. So definitely, I want to do some videos of some of these things that we talked about tonight here in the future. So hopefully I'll add them to you. But there's plenty of videos out there of all the things that I talked about. So get out there and check them out. And if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Please don't let it be about the contact we made in last February. But if you have a question about 10-meter stuff or digital stuff or whatever, if I can't answer it, somebody in my Discord can, and I'll get it answered for you. So shoot me a message. We're coming up on the top of the hour, and I'm looking forward to getting into after chat. Hayden, what do you got coming up?
Field day Saturday. We're going to have some shenanigans at the family reunion. Chris, Kilo Oscar 4 FSZ. Shoot me a message in Discord, and I'll help you with that. Or send me a message through Facebook, because I know we're friends on Facebook. But that's it.
Yeah, once Chris gets into Discord, immediately give him his rights, because he's already a Patreon.
Okay, I thought he was in Discord.
Yeah, he is a Patreon, so he already has rights to the channel.
Well then, I will send you a link right now for the Discord.
You can look on the thing and see which tier. But anyway, for myself, tomorrow I will have a video drop. I don't even know what it is yet, and I've got so many in the queue that I'm working on. But I will have a video drop tomorrow at 4 p.m. as always. I will also be out activating quite a bit tomorrow as well, and of course all weekend long I'll be doing POTA. No worries. Even though I'm doing field day for 24 hours, I will POTA Saturday morning before I go to field day, and then I will POTA Sunday after field day. I will not miss a day. No worries. I got this. Trust me. If I can work around train trips, field day not even a problem. But thank you everybody for the super chats and for hanging in there. Hopefully, if you're a technician, you've seen something tonight that you're interested in, or will help make your technician days more interesting. And if I didn't get your general, come do POTA with me, because POTA is where it's at. But
get your extra after that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, get your extra just to have it, but honestly, you can do everything you need as a general.
Only 83%.
How many times have you used that other 17%?
Only when I don't want to hear from you.
Very.
You know what? To be honest, not a lot, but every once in a while there'll be that rare DX station that doesn't want to mess with generals, and yeah.
I'm gonna start activating all my POTA activations down in the extra class. I bet you I could set a record for extra
upgrades.
I guarantee you I could set a record. I have to contact the AWRL and see. I'm like, so if I can get 100 people to upgrade to extra this year, what do I get?
You know what you get? You get a free license next 10 years.
Hey, I get a free license for life, maybe. Or no, I get a free AARL membership for life. There we go.
Oh, well, that's a different organization right there.
All right. So anyway, thanks, guys. I appreciate you, and we'll see everybody over on the after chat.
Everybody have a great weekend. 73.